Hey everybody, I wanted to talk to you all about martial arts in theatrical combat. The techniques that we've been going over thus far have been fairly general techniques, a lot of it borrowed from boxing, some of it borrowed from martial arts. But I want to kind of talk about specifically martial arts in theatrical combat and how we can use it. Now, you'll see a lot of martial arts in movies, but not so much in theater. Obviously, that has to do with a lot being that a lot of modern literature doesn't necessarily include characters that are going to be trained fighters or have a lot of martial arts training. But you could encounter it either doing film work or even some other more modern theatrical productions and things like that. So we're always having to ask ourselves, again, how much training does my character have? Are they a trained fighter? Have they been brought up learning one way or another how to fight? And specifically, if it's more of a boxing background or if it's a martial arts background. Once we can determine that and really kind of focus and get a clear idea of the type of training that our character has, then we can explore that particular style into more depth, okay? So my son Gordon's here again. He's going to help me demonstrate. My wife's doing some camera work for us. Thanks, Jen. So we're going to kind of show you a few things here and try to get the best angles on it that we can. Again, if you have questions about stuff, please don't hesitate to ask. Okay. So in a lot of martial arts, we discussed in class the difference between hard martial arts and soft martial arts, right? The idea being that in a hard martial art, if Gordon was trying to punch me right in the solar plex, send out a straight punch to the solar plex, a hard martial art is going to block that, and it's going to try to break that arm when that punch comes out. A soft martial art, again, if he punches, is going to be more indirect. It's going to be softer, right? Not going to try to cause as much damage as it is just deflect the blow and then do something after that. A lot of soft martial arts, though, are also going to do things called joint locks, okay? Another thing that martial arts teaches us that's really good for us actors is understanding how the body works and how the body moves and how it's designed, right? And we can use that to our advantage when we're doing different types of martial arts techniques. So if Gordon holds his arm out here for me, we're going to kind of talk about some of the joints here in the arm specifically. So we have the wrist joint first, right? The wrist joint is designed to go up and down. He has a lot of flexibility going up and down with his hand. He has some flexibility going right to left, but not nearly as much, right? It's kind of a hinge, yeah? And it goes both directions up and down a lot easier and a lot more flexibly than right or left, okay? So as soon as you start moving that wrist one way or the other, going right or left, then you're going to start locking up other parts of the body because that particular joint is not designed to do that, right? Also, as soon as I bend the wrist in a way that it's designed to go, either up or down, I've immediately created a simple machine here with the arm. I've created a lever, okay? And in doing that, I can start to affect other joints, right? And I'm going to show you that here in just a minute. Let's move up to the elbow though real quick. The elbow is designed to bend in like this, right? It's not designed to go that way. So if you apply even just a little bit of pressure on the outside of the elbow, you can lock up that joint. And if I'm doing a martial arts technique, especially a hard martial art, a lot of times I'm going to attack a joint in a direction in which it's not supposed to go, and I'm going to try and break that joint. Again, a hard martial art would attack the elbow and try to break the elbow so that your opponent can't come at you. Soft martial arts are going to attack a joint, but in a different way, okay? If you go up here further to the shoulder is a really cool joint because it's a ball joint, right? It's a ball and socket. Just like the connection between your skull and your neck is a ball socket. Your head can pivot in 360 degrees, right? All around that joint. Your shoulder is very similar in that. His arm has lots of range of mobility, right? In all directions when he moves his shoulder around. However, if you lock up one joint, it's going to start affecting another, okay? If I start locking up his wrist, I can affect his elbow, which then is going to affect his shoulder, okay? Case in point, if I bend his wrist down, I've effectively created a lock here and I've created a lever. As soon as I turn this over, I've now locked his elbow joint in place, okay? Again, if I wanted to be mean, I could attack that joint and I could break it. However, in this position as well, I've also locked up his shoulder. He could move his arm up and down, but he doesn't have a lot of mobility going the other direction. If I keep this right into my core, right here towards my stomach here, all I have to do is step forward and his body's going to go that way because this is locked up. His arm is completely straight. Similarly, if I move backward, he's going to come that way too, right? And he starts to experience a little bit of pain just in the torque of the wrist, right? That's happening there. Okay. Anytime you're practicing these moves, if you feel a little bit of pain and you want your partner to stop, tap out. Okay. If I'm grabbing Gordon and he feels some sort of pain, he's going to tap either his own body or my arm or some other part of my body to let me know I need to let go. Okay. That tap is in very important form of communication between partners. All right. If you feel your partner tap or you hear your partner tap, let go. Okay. You have to build that trust so that if you see or hear that tap out, let go. Okay. Whenever you're trying to practice this sort of stuff.
Gordon,
come back here.
Just leave her alone.
Luella, shut the door and leave it closed, please. Sorry about that. Okay. So, I'm going to show you a particular technique here that we use. You use it in a lot of different martial arts, but I learned it in Aikido specifically. Aikido is a really great martial arts for theater practitioners to study because it really works on using the entire body. And they incorporate a lot of really good footwork that is good for theater artists to move, learn and move with. And then it also is a particular martial art that really focuses on connecting movement with the breath. And so it's a really good way for us to augment a lot of our breathing and movement training as well. Aikido, again, is really useful for that. So, a quick technique here I want to show you is a manipulation of the wrist. It's going to include a joint lock, and you'll see it actually in a lot of films. If you've seen the John Wick movies at all, you'll probably see this technique a lot, and a lot of various other movies and TV shows I've seen it used in. Okay, Gordon is going to throw a punch, and I'm going to ask him to be right foot forward. Have right leg forward. And I'm going to ask him to step and punch at the same time. So he's going to step forward and then punch. I'm going to move out of distance first. I just want him to try this on his own. He's going to be targeting right towards center of chest. Okay? He's going to make eye contact. He's going to then look to the target. And he's going to step forward and then punch to it. Okay? Straight line. Just like that. Reset, please. If I move in distance, makes eye contact, looks to the target, he's going to step, boom, he's going right there. Okay? Now, another really good thing about martial arts, what it teaches us to do is to evade well. We worked about evasions in class, right? Martial arts, initial fundamental concept, best way not to get hit, don't be there, right? So it teaches us to move first and then react with our arms after that, which is really great. We don't want to anticipate things, we want to react to things, okay? So, he has his right leg forward, fists are up, ready to go. He's going to step and punch, and I'm going to first move my body out of the way, okay? The attack's going to come in, go. I'm going to move here. So I'm stepping up stage and just pivoting slightly, okay? Getting out of the way of the attack. Eye focus here, and then he goes. Okay? He's doing a straight punch. He's being a good partner, just stepping straight out into a straight line. Okay? I'm going to next add another element to this by bringing my hand up and over the punch, okay? So I'm going to move out of the way and then bring my right hand over the top at the same time, okay? Eye contact, and he goes. My hand comes up and right over the top. Now you'll notice where my fingers are positioned, okay? And Jen, if you want to come in a little bit closer just to get this. My thumb is on top of the hand here, and my fingers are in a position to where they can slide up inside the palm. This might feel familiar to you in a lot of our wrist stretches that we were doing in class, right? Especially this one here. I was pushing forward on the top of the hand with the thumb and then curling the fingers on the inside of the palm, right, when we were doing that stretch. This is one of the reasons why we were doing that stretch, so that when we got to these techniques, it would be a little bit more familiar, okay? So again, he's going to get ready, eye contact, he steps and punches, hand comes up on the top, okay? As soon as I get here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to press forward with the thumb while the fingers curl inside of the palm. I'm going to keep my elbow low, so I actually want my elbow behind his, okay? Right there, there's a real big hook in the arm, okay? There. What I'm going to do is I'm going to then swing that elbow out, applying pressure to his elbow joint here, which locks that out, okay? And it's making him move that way, right? As soon as that happens, I take a step back to gain a little bit of distance, and then I immediately pull this hand back, keeping my hand low towards my center here. And then the other hand comes on top and he starts to feel things right there, right? Yes? Yeah, good. Okay.
Go.
So, watch that one more time. He makes eye contact. He's going to step and punch, move out of the way first. Hand comes up over the top. Elbow stays low. Pressing the thumb down to create the lever in the wrist. Apply a little bit of pressure to the elbow. Boom, there. Don't let that elbow slide underneath. Keep that arm out. Then turn back. Apply a little bit more pressure that way. And if he went with it, if I applied a little bit more pressure, he's going to want to go down, right? And he starts to feel things. Okay? Take care of your partner after that. Really interesting thing about this technique, and a lot of times you'll see this in the movies, because these are stunt performers performing these techniques. Again, in the John Wick movies and stuff like that, is that as soon as you apply that little bit more pressure to the technique, the body wants to fly. And when you see Aikido artists, and again in the movies, this particular technique, the guys are flipping over in the air, and that particular movement is actually real to the technique. They've learned how to fall where it doesn't hurt them quite as much though, so don't do that. Let's do that one more time, just so we can show all angles of it. And again, Jen, if you need to get in closer to it, you can see. I want to make sure we get the best views on this so that if you have any questions, you can ask. Stay right here. Eye contact. Gordon's going to step and punch. Move out of the way. Hand comes right over the top here. Elbows low. Behind, not your elbow, my elbow. His arm stays straight out. He's going to be a good partner. Pressing down on the top of the hand here. Apply a little bit of pressure to the elbow there. Step back, turn. Go ahead and take a small step back there just so they can see this. Good. Turn here, and then my left hand comes right over the top of the pinky here. Right there. And if I need to take another step back to gain a little bit more distance, that's okay. But as soon as you bring that hand over that pinky, they should start feeling things a little bit more. Yes? Yeah, okay. The trick with these is that you shouldn't really at any point feel like you are exerting a lot of power and strength. A lot of this stuff should be relatively easy to do. Part of the really fun thing about Aikido is that you're learning how to exert a lot of force on your opponent without having to exert a lot of energy to do it. So if you feel yourself trying to muscle somebody with it, you're probably not doing it right. You should be able to do this technique really easily and not have to muscle it to affect your partner or your opponent. okay? I'm gonna do one more technique here. Similar thing, but in a slightly different direction, okay? So Gordon's gonna step and punch again, same arm, same hand. Again, this time, instead of stepping away from the punch on this side, I'm gonna step to the other side, okay? So, Jen, if you want to, go ahead and come around this way first. So Gordon's gonna make eye contact, and then he's gonna step and punch. This time I'm moving this way, okay? So I'm stepping to the inside of his body, right? However, just like with the last technique, I'm gonna bring my hand over the top, okay? As I move. Eye contact, he steps and punches here, okay? Now, from here, instead of going that way with the technique, I'm gonna come back this way. I'm still gonna push down just like I did on the top of the hand, right? With my thumb. But instead of going that way, I'm gonna bring his hand all the way over. Again, if he was my height, I would bring this just over my head, okay? And here, and now you can see this particular lock that I have this way, okay? His elbow is locked in from here. Again, if I was mean, I could just attack that joint and I could break it. But I don't have to do that, okay? From here, in this position, all I have to do is apply a little bit of pressure to the shoulder, and he's gonna wanna go down, right? Doesn't take much, as long as I hold this wrist lock here, okay? So again, let's watch that. Yep, shake it out. Eye contact, stepping and punching. Hand comes over the top, bend the wrist down, come over, and apply pressure. Okay? Two really simple techniques that, again, you'll see a lot in films, and we can use them in various situations, given the right type of situation in stage, on stage work. Okay? So, we've seen a lot of times in films the really fast martial arts stuff. If you've seen Jackie Chan movies are really cool because Jackie Chan's really great at using a lot of different things, what we would call found objects. Jackets, chairs, brooms, mops, pots, pans, anything that that's around him, really. He's really good at incorporating into the scene and using them in some sort of martial way, right? Any of the Rush Hour films or any of his earlier works are really great. Even the remake of The Karate Kid, Gordon likes that one. We've watched that already here during the quarantine. And it's you can see some of the things that he does in his particular fight sequences. Now, as a stunt performer, he's crazy, okay? He's broken almost every bone in his body, and he's got to drive insurance people crazy because he does almost all of his own stunts, and he does dangerous things as a headline performer. So if you want to be a stuntman, there's a school actually you can go to. It's pretty expensive, but you can go to it and you can learn all the stunts, falls, burns, driving, all the different types of stunts and everything. It's pretty cool, fun school to go to. I haven't been myself, but I have worked with people that have, and it's pretty interesting. Again, it's expensive though, so watch those movies though. Watch those Jackie Chan movies because he does some really fun things, and it's really cool. The trick with, again, film and martial arts and theater and martial arts is that you want to make sure and slow things down, okay? Especially for theater. For film, you can speed things up a little bit, right? And you see that all the time, the action's real fast. For theater, we need to keep things a little bit slower so we make sure that the audience can follow along visually, all right? So I want to teach you all a quick little sequence here that you can go through and practice. It's going to incorporate some soft blocks and some punches, and there's a contact blow at the end of it as well, okay? So first we're going to break this down, and I'm going to have Gordon just kind of demonstrate the punches that we're going to throw during this particular sequence first, just so you can see the attacks. And you can go ahead and face the camera there, Gordon. So he's going to have his left leg forward. He's in a good fighting stance. He's going to throw a right cross first. So he crosses with the right. Then he's going to cross with the left. And then he's going to attempt a stomach punch. Again, this is an inverted punch, and it's going to go out in a straight line. Okay, so it's not an uppercut. It's going straight out towards the stomach. So again, those first 3 moves are just cross, cross, stomach. Okay? From there, he's going to do a block, and he's going to block here, right to the side of the face. Okay? He's going to block an attempted backhand. All right? So we're going to do those moves, add that block in there. We're going to do cross, cross, stomach, block. One more time. Cross, cross, stomach, block. Right? That block is then going to sweep down, and he's going to throw another right cross, followed immediately by a left stomach. Okay? That right cross is going to hang out there and get checked down, and then there's going to be a blow to the lat muscle. Okay? We talked about in our contact blows how we can go to the major muscle groups, right? We went to the stomach in the video that I made for contact blows to begin with. And we can also go to the lat muscles. Lat muscles are basically right here behind the shoulder, okay? They're a little bit lower than the shoulder, but there's a nice little meaty area right there, and you can feel it. And we're hitting with the flat part of the fist right to that lat muscle. I'm going to have a little bit of an inverted fist going into that. Boom, right there. Okay, so it gives him a little jolt, but it's just like our stomach punches. You get that nice nap sound from the flat part of the fist. Okay, so let's have Gordon go through the punch sequence here. He's punching, I'm blocking. Okay, we're going to make eye contact, and we're going to try to maintain eye contact all the way through this. Okay, we're using kind of a soft field of vision here. Using our peripherals, right? Trying to maintain eye contact with our partner. So Gordon's going to start by throwing his first punch, right cross. Go slow, reset. First punch, right cross. Boom, stop right there. I'm coming to the outside of his fist here, blocking that over to the side. Okay? He then throws his left cross, and I bring my left hand right back, coming to the outside of the wrist here, to the outside of his fist there. Moving out just a little bit to the side. Again, move the body, then let the arm follow. He then follows up with a stomach punch. I come across with the right hand low, and then my left hand comes over the top and down. Okay? This is a little bit of a tricky move here because it's a double block, right? Let's watch that again from the top. Comes first, right cross, block there. Left cross, block here. Stomach punch. Right comes across there, and then sweep down with the left to block 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay? Nice and smooth, all 3 of those. Go. 1, 2, 3. Okay? 4 is going to be a punch, and it's a backhand punch. I'm going to take my right hand right here, and I'm going to attempt to try to hit him right up here in the temple, with the back part of my fist here, okay? So I've done 1, 2 with that block there. The right hand comes up. Now, obviously, I'm not punching to the target. I'm punching offline, like we would normally, right? Okay? He's bringing that hand up to block it, right up next to the face. He then checks that down and attempts another right cross. Block that one. Immediately followed with the left stomach punch, and there's the lat punch at the end. Okay, so let's go through that again. Right cross, left cross, right stomach punch, double block, block the back fist, check it down, right cross, block, stomach punch, check both, lat punch, making contact with that. Okay, we're going to do that a few times here. Let Jen kind of go around so you can see every angle of it. Nice and slow, slow and smooth, always. Again, don't speed up with this. Go slow, work with your partner, eye contact to begin with. Here we go. You're punching. Block it, check it, punch, lap. Again. Nope. Nope. Again. Summit. Good. Let's try one more time. Summit. Good. And you hear that nap from that lat punch, right? Get that lat punch in here. Make sure you're eye the target. Look at the target before you punch it. Now, I want Gordon to do the other side of this too. When you're doing this with your partner, learn both sides. Okay? Learn both sides of this particular technique, right? So, now I'm going to be punching. Okay? Make eye contact. And we start slow and smooth. Block, block, double block, punch, block here, check down, right, left, lat punch. Make sure you're going to the lat muscle, not down to the ribs or up at the shoulder, but right into the lat, okay? Again, and again, Jen, you can move around. Ready? Eye contact. Good. Make sure when you're getting that double block there that you're going right, left. Should be 2 movements, right, left. And this is a circular movement, okay? So as I come across with the right hand, doing a big circle with the left, then coming up for that punch. Got that, Gordon?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Let's do that one more time. Nice and slow. Good. Don't forget reactions, right? The trick with this, and especially with martial arty things, you get a lot of choreography, right? And your tendency is going to want us to speed up, okay? Because it's fun, it's flashy, it's smooth, it's rhythmical, all that sort of things. Don't let yourself speed up. Stay slow. Breathe throughout the entire thing. Make sure you're breathing, and then focus on not anticipating the movement, right? See the target, punch it, see the attack, dodge it, and block it. When you get hit, react to it. Get a reaction in the body on that lat punch. Boom, ah! Okay? Turn those active knobs to 11 while you're doing this, okay?
Gordon, she's fine.
So, this is a quick little thing you can do. It's fun. Watch those martial arts films and kind of get a feel for the movement of it. Again, the smoother you can be, the flowier you can be with stuff, the cooler it's going to look, the more epic it's going to look. And we always fight epically, right? Right, Gordon? Always epic. Yeah? Cool. Thanks, guys. I'm going to post this. Let me know if you have any questions. Try this with whoever you can find with you. I'm going to post a script for us to make an analysis of here real shortly as well. And I'll talk more about that in that particular discussion. Keep staying home. Keep staying safe. And thank you guys very much. See you soon.